Brough not long now until the Investec Derby. At this stage, what are your thoughts on the race?
Well, everybody knows that Carlton House is a very worthy favourite. The thing about him is that all the vibrations have been very, very good. I mean, he's been Stout's Derby horse, and people have been pretty open about that for a long time. They are absolutely unreservedly confident of everything he's done so far, and that we all saw the trial. It was very good, and he had a sprint, etc. But I mean, everyone knows that. I think that you wouldn't want to take away. He didn't beat Seville that far. Seville obviously will be better further, and there's no doubt that everyone at the time, there wasn't much money for him. He'd be a lot fitter. I mean, he'd have quite a bit of improvement with him. I think Carlton House is pretty fit. My information is he's pretty fit at. And you mustn't get carried away in these things. Everybody wants to sort of say it's there. History tells us it's not certain. They don't anyone say it's a certainty. It's not a certainty at this stage. And Seville, if Seville beat him, would that be that much of a surprise? Not really. He's only got beaten length and a half or something, proved a lot. If Pourmois beat him, Pourmois, there it's not so much what we've seen. And we're talking at Epsom, he worked pretty interesting here, fascinating actually. That's the most intensive workout I've ever seen around Epsom. I mean, no one does that now. These things are purely a sort of cosmetic cant around the track for a day out. I mean, it's nothing to do with an exercise. That thing actually worked. It pulled a bit, it settled a bit around the turn, but I mean, he actually worked up the hill and up the straight. And Fabre is not, as you know, a man who puts silly words into the ether. And he has said, my best ever chance of winning the Derby, and he's very hopeful, and he likes the horse a lot. So that's strong words. There's been good vibrations, but strictly on the form, you can't really have him. But it's the instinct is you had to be wary of Fabre, and it wouldn't be surprising if Seville was to win. But all the logic points to Carlton House at this stage.
And of the Ballydoyle horses, you mentioned Seville. Would he be the form pick? Would you say? What about Recital, won the Derrinstown trial?
I didn't like the way he did it, frankly. I think he'd be a very difficult ride. I'm not sure. I'd be slightly surprised if they can't get Kieran to ride him. I mean, that all seems to have worked out as a strategic sort of blunder, really. I mean, what's the point of him riding in the trial if he couldn't ride him the other day? But I would have thought he's much more likely to go logically to go to the French Derby, and you can get Ryan or Kieran to ride him there. Seville looks to me to be the horse of theirs. Of course, the same team have Pourmois. But remember, that would mean Seville's a horse who really stays. They would really want to go. They want a decent gallop for Pourmois to settle. Carlton House has got to beat, a team as well as the whole Derby contours and everything else. It would be a historic day if Carlton House wins, but believe you me, to say he's a certainty is a nonsense.
And I mean, another thing being mentioned about Carlton House is by street cry, will he see out the mile and a half?
Well, the only query I had, I was at on Warren Hill with quite a few sort of people on Tuesday, and Bruce Raymond, who's a very good judge, was a very good jockey. One query he had, we always thought the best horse around, we sure he stays, but really our reservations are because he's shown so much speed. But I mean, the mare's by Bastino or something, isn't she? I mean, the pedigree doesn't disprove it at all. But he has shown a lot of pace. I mean, he's a lot more pacey horse than Workforce. And until I don't actually agree all this thing about, non-stayers place. I mean, the record time for the Derby is 2:31, 2:32. Record time for the Ascot mile and a half is 2:24, and for Chantilly it's 2:23, I think, or 2:20. It takes longer around here because it's much tougher. And you've got to get the trip. And the Coolmore Ballydoyle team will really make this a test of stamina. If there are any chinks in Carlton House's stamina, they're going to be found. I rather doubt that they will show that.